Viewers and subscribers, welcome to the channel Awe-Thentic Views, where we strive for less perfection but more authenticity. Now, as a good friend told me recently, Rome was not built in a day, it was built brick by brick. So we're taking our time to build this channel. So please go ahead, click the like button, subscribe to the channel, leave your comments below and share this video. We'll be taking a look at the day 8 of FIFA 2022 World Cup, where we saw some shock results and basically some entertaining games. First game of the day saw Costa Rica going up against Japan. This one ended 1-0 in favor of Costa Rica. Very few people expected this. The Costa Ricans applied themselves. They were basically in this game throughout the whole 90 minutes. The Japanese, they did make 5 changes to the starting team that beat Germany, and I'm thinking the coach would live to regret this. The Costa Rican scored late in the game and basically defended at 1-0. Now this sets up this group where any of the 4 teams can proceed, as you can see here. As Spain is on 4 points, Japan 3, Costa Rica 3, and mighty Germans in 4th place on 1 point. Now this means that the third game of this group should be very, very interesting, as the Spanish would go up against the Japanese and Germany take on Costa Rica. Anything other than a defeat for the Spanish means they will proceed to the next stage. However, if the Japanese win and Costa Rica wins, then Costa Rica and Japan will be proceeding. So it sets up this group very, very interesting for the third and final game of this group. Second game of the day saw Canada going up against the Croatians. The Croatians finally turned up at the World Cup. They displayed their true class and talent that we expect from them. They dominated this game. They ran out 4-1 victors on the day, comfortably, might I add. Yes, the Canadians show grit, determination, fight. They are 2-0 down. The face of that team, Alphonso Davies, brought them back in the game somewhat with that 1 goal. Game was 2-1 at that point. However, like I said, Modric, Kovacic, they ran the midfield, bossed the game basically, controlled everything that was happening in that midfield, and they eventually ran out 4-1 victors. The Canadian should take heart from this performance nonetheless. The Croatians just a way more superior team than them at the end of the day. Yes, the Croatians, they played, as I term it, a rubbish game in the first game when they had a 1-1 draw with Morocco. However, today their class was on display for everybody to see. Now the third game of the day saw Belgium going up against Morocco. This was another shock defeat, shock result in my eyes. However, it should be expected somewhat, because the Belgians, they didn't look good in the first game when they got the better of Canada 1-0. They look disjointed. Nothing seemed cohesive. Again, De Bruyne and Batshuayi, they weren't on the same wavelength. I could see this team more of an individual playing than a team, playing as a unit. It just wasn't evident. The Moroccans, on the other hand, they played as a team. They stuck to their game plan. They frustrated the Belgium team, and they scored 2 goals at crucial points in the game, which eventually won them this game, and quite rightly so. Now this result means that 3 teams have the opportunity of proceeding to the next stage. So the final game in this group should be very, very crucial and interesting, because at that point will we know who those 2 teams are. Unfortunately for the Canadians, this result also means that they are out. They don't have a chance of proceeding. Now, the final game of the day saw a big clash between Spain and the Germany team. Now, with previous result, not much was riding on this game, meaning had the Germans lost, they would have still had a chance of proceeding. However, the game ended 1-1, but it was a really, really entertaining game. Yes, the Spanish team is known for tiki-taka football, death by 1,000 pass. and that was on display somewhat. I would say they had about 800 passes. They didn't reach that 1,000 pass. However, it was still a dominant display from the Spanish team. I would say the Germans, they were in the game. They weren't outplayed totally. However, they were the second best on the day, in my opinion, my humble opinion. One of my greatest concerns for the Spanish team going into the World Cup was their striking options. I know that they don't have an out-and-out lethal striker, and that, I would say, caused them to draw this game today, as they had numerous chances to score maybe 2-3 goals on this German team. Eventually, we saw where it was ironically a striker in Morata who came on and scored that go-ahead goal. Also, we saw with the Germans, it was a striker, a young striker might I add, came on and equalized for them. So we saw where both teams' substitution was the difference for them on the day. Now, obviously, this means that our team still has a chance of proceeding to the next stage. Now, the final game of this group should also be a mouth-watering clash. Now, people, I must admit, Musiala, Pedri, Gavi, these are some real gems for the future. These young boys are playing way beyond their years, I must admit. All three of them were impressive on the day. None of them seemed like a child on the field. They didn't seem out of place. Matter of fact, in some cases, they were the ones who were calling the shots, bossing the game for their team. Can you imagine? At 19, 20, these boys are very talented. Guys, thanks for watching. Subscribe to the channel. Remember, less perfection, more authenticity. I'm out.